What is good, everybody? Welcome into this special edition of Major Push Wrestling, the talk show where we give wrestling the major push that it deserves. I'm here to talk to you guys and give you my reaction on Wrestlemania as a whole. What a long weekend it's been. What an exciting weekend it's been. Did everything live up to the hype, or was it all overblown? So, thank you very much. And let's get right into it. Right off the bat, night one compared to night two felt like it was produced by two different companies, which makes sense if this rumored TKO versus WWE storyline is going to be taking place. Whereas night one was kind of the TKO style of booking, the mega celebrities, the short matches, the internet clips, the virality, all that stuff. And then night two was a traditional WrestleMania, wrestling focused, storyline focused, talent focused WWE as a whole. It's focusing on itself. So, man, last night, this morning, this night, however you want to look at it, right? It was fantastic, start to finish. They booked nearly a perfect show. There are maybe like one or two things I might have done differently, but especially with night two, what a perfect event. And it's funny because if you take night two as a whole, this would theoretically be one of the better WrestleManias of all time. Unfortunately, we have to add in night one to this. And you might think, well, it doesn't matter how bad night one is, if night two is that great, night one is just auxiliary. Like, we usually don't get that. So it's just a bunch of extra stuff that we get. But unfortunately, we do got to combine them because it is going to be the story of WrestleMania 42 moving forward, both nights. And now the dichotomy between how poor for a WrestleMania night one was compared to the WrestleMania feel of night two. The difference in the stage, the difference in the presentation, the differences in taking things seriously was completely there and totally worth it. And it looks like that they either planned this from the beginning or were taking the reaction of fans into consideration. Okay, some standouts from night one though were definitely not AJ Lee. Yes, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. I enjoyed their match and their story for what it was. For sure, there wasn't the best build. You heard that going in to this. They weren't even really on the shows that much leading into WrestleMania. Rollins and Gunther, we expected great things and we got great things. Now, Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer, it was what it was. But, and you had the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and the Fatal 4-Way tag match. Yes, we have Paige returning. Yes, we have Braun Breaker returning. This is great. That's what, if night one was one of the other pay-per-views of the year, like a non-Big Four, like it would be great. But it is WrestleMania, so we do expect some better things to be coming up for WrestleMania. And as we've shown with the second night, that is totally warranted and justified. Now, at night two, started off with Oba versus Brock. And to our surprise, Brock put him over clean and then left his boots and his gloves in the ring, seemingly retiring. It's funny because it doesn't look like anybody wants to be retired by Gunther. It looks like they would rather have their own ways of going about things, but they're still calling Gunther the career killer. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. Now, the ladder match was fantastic from start to finish. Very fast paced, very enjoyable. Rhea versus Jade was the match that it needed to be. Give Jade a big platform, and Rhea is the best, maybe most over person in the company, male or female. So it was time to put the title on her for sure. Now, my dude, Mr. Whoop That, Mr. Trick Williams, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppa, let's talk about it. They did sort of a double turn in this match. I thought maybe that would lead to Sammy winning, and I would get to see that live at Backlash, the rematch, because I will be going to Backlash in Tampa. But we didn't get that. But Trick Williams won, and that's the most important thing. He's going to be a main event player for years to come. And then we had Demon versus Dominic Mysterio, which Demon had to win this match. His entrance was awesome. Dominic's entrance was awesome as well, but the Demon really needed to win this match, and this for sure will lead to some fallout with the Judgment Day now. We've got Liv winning, we've got Dom and JD losing, so all of those things can lead to a storyline change moving forward. But CM Punk versus Roman Reigns was everything that we expected it to be and more. No interferences, clean match, except for the stair spot with Roman Reigns. Not sure why he needed to do that. Not sure why that's fair. Not sure why that does not warrant disqualification. I'm sure CM Punk will have something to say about that, but the right person left with the title. No offense to CM Punk. Roman Reigns, when Roman Reigns is the champion, the company is firing on all cylinders and wrestling is at its best. CM Punk could be the other champion. I don't think Cody Rhodes, from a company standpoint, I think he does do a great job as a champion, but from a fan perspective and from all these other believability things and however you want to look at it, I just feel like Randy Orton winning would have been the better option. I mean, all the pictures, all the stories, all the videos, everybody's talking about what Randy did, and you'd think that he won the match. So I'm not sure why they didn't just pull the trigger on that. Maybe they want to make 15 a big deal, but it can't be any bigger of a deal than, winning it at WrestleMania. But I don't think that they wanted Cody Rhodes to lose 2 championship matches 2 years in a row at WrestleMania, which is why I was thinking Roman was going to win, because they weren't going to have him lose 3 WrestleManias in a row. That just wouldn't be very best for business. So what a great time. What did I miss? The Fatu McIntyre was a little tame, but it was what it was on free television. Free. It's not really free, but it is. If you have the cable package you already pay for, you don't have to pay any extra to watch it. And the 6-man tag match was basically just the showcase and I show speed, which is fine because WWE wants kids to watch. And that's why you're getting all these streamers. That's why you're getting all these YouTubers and podcasters and TikTokers and whatever the app the kids are on now. They are the ones that kids are watching. As somebody who works in an elementary school, I know that these kids are being influenced heavily. You might be a 35-year-old man like me, and you're like, no, these people, how are these people influencers? They don't influence anything for me. They don't, but they influence things for children. And if they can influence the children to tune in and then the show can grab their attention, then they'll have more fans for life. And it just makes sense. I get why they're doing it, but there's one thing to market and promote to get people to tune in. It's a whole other thing to put on a good show and have it be warranted for itself. So night 2 did what traditional wrestling should be and do, and night 1 was an over-the-top showcase of celebrities and how to attempt to bring in new eyeballs, potentially when you don't think your product is going to deliver the way it should. And it didn't, because the outcomes were different. The outcomes maybe weren't even the best. But night 2, even with the celebrity involvement, the Lil Yachty, the Joe Jonas, right, the people in the crowd, it worked a lot better than night 1. And I think that you're going to be hearing that narrative for the rest of this week and maybe even the rest of the season, because it is definitely something that you'd have to be blind to miss, unfortunately. Hopefully it leads to TKO versus WWE, and we can do like this authority type of situation. I think there could be a lot of mileage in that. Survivor Series is so far away, but a team WWE versus a team TKO could actually have some stakes to it, and I think it would be a lot of fun. And you notice that I'm mentioning the word fun a lot. Wrestling is supposed to be fun. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be entertainment. And even if I thought something was super goofy, like the Cena segment with Danhausen, The Miz, and Kit Wilson, it was still entertaining. And that's what you need in wrestling. You need to be entertained one way or another. As somebody who's rewatching Game of Thrones, sometimes you don't always get the things that you want, but there can be entertainment in that. That's where maybe Randy losing isn't what we wanted, but we got entertainment outside of that with the RKO on Pat McAfee and the punt and him holding the title up anyway. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I do think that they made some pretty big mistakes, especially on night one. But it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. If you watch a movie and the first two acts are not good, but the third act is amazing, you will leave that movie thinking that, liking it more than you would if the first two acts were amazing and the third act was trash. So we got to end on a high note. WrestleMania weekend. Oh my gosh. What did you guys think? Were your predictions right? Were your predictions wrong? You'll see Noah and I later today doing our predictions. Post-mortem predictions breakdown video at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tune into that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.